Hello and welcome to Swing for Contacts, episode number 2. Today we're discussing our top picks for each position for the 2023 season. Roll the intro and let's get right into it. Alright, today we're joined back with Aden, and today a new guest. Noah is in the middle here.
Yo, what's up?
As you can see, I'm flanked by 2 Rangers fans this time around, so this is great. I need to put myself in the middle, that way you guys can gang up on me in the middle. I think we're going to go straight into first base, right? That's the plan, even though catcher would be number 2 and first base would be number 3, but that's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Nah. Thanks, Aiden.
Thanks, Aiden. So, Aiden, give me your initial thoughts at first base. Who you got, who you like, and why?
Alright, so if this was a who's better right now, of course I'd probably go with Goldschmidt, probably the popular pick. But I'm going to go with the guy who I feel like's been more consistent and had an insane year last year, but it was downplayed because of Goldschmidt. I think Freddie Freeman's going to be the best next year. This
Strong
year,
pick.
he slashed 325, 407, 511. And I think it's going to be the same, if not better. I think he's getting comfortable in Dodger Stadium and ready to see what he's going to come up with next year, especially with them losing some valuable pieces.
And you know I'm a glove guy. I love guys that have great leather work. And I think that's one of the few knocks on Goldschmidt is he's not as good of a defender as a guy like Freddie or a guy like Rizzo. I think he's probably a negative value or an average value at first base with the glove. So yeah, Freddie's strong. That's a good place to start. No, who you got?
Yeah, I think there wasn't a wrong choice for this one. All 3 of our picks were pretty good. But I went with Vladdy. So what I have for him is that, he's only 23 years old, very, very young, and he's shown us that he can be the star kind of player, and he is for the Blue Jays. And we were talking before the episode, and I think he can come out and maybe win an MVP this year. He won the Gold Glove last year at first base, and yeah, so I just think he's going to be the first baseman this year in the MLB. So
it's time for him to kind of become that guy, right? So I think that totally makes sense. And then I went with old reliable Paul Goldschmidt just because. You look from the time he's been in St. Louis, man, just 34, 31, 35 home runs, 97, 102, 106 RBIs. His strikeout rate is under 20%. His walk rate is over 10%. He's just incredible with the bat. I don't think he gets up to 177 like WRC plus. I don't think he's worth that much offensively this next year. But man, the first base bats are just stacked right now. I do like the Freeman pick and as old reliable, and then the way that Vladdy's been going and his trajectory going into his prime, that's strong. I don't think there's a wrong move there.
Yeah.
I guess I'll continue to start it off over here at second, and it really pains me to see this guy be at the top of all of our lists because I just don't know when he's going to slow down. I thought maybe when that 2020 season came around that may start to look like the usual, and then he, completely turned it around from that year. Had one of his better years of his career this year, I feel like. Of course, he started slow in the playoffs, but, he slashed 300, 387, 533 throughout the season. Had a 164 WRC plus. That's crazy. I don't know when this guy's going to slow down, and I really hope it's soon because I feel like he's taking that spot from Simeon. Because Simeon's my number 2, but Altuve is going to be number 1 until he gets close to retirement, in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing with Altuve, in terms of being able to repeat success, and the thing with him always being that dude, except for that 2020 where he just never got out of his little funk. But, he's every year but 2 have been with a WRC plus over 100. His expected WOBA is always around that 340 kind of mark. His career average is 307. He's always getting on base, and his numbers just. He's proceeded to keep the same strikeout ratio. His walk ratio actually went up this year, which that's always been a thing. Like Altuve never drew walks like at the same rate as like top tier batters, and that was like his knock almost. And then he comes out with 11% walk percentage. It's like, okay, where'd the plate discipline come from all of a sudden? 28 bombs, 103 runs, top of the Houston lineup. Repeated success for a strong decade. Until he's not there, he's going to be assumed as that guy.
Yeah, for sure. Just like you are saying, just like over the course of like his career, he's been like obviously the dude in Houston, maybe besides Correa, but I just, for me, he's been really like consistent, and like y'all said, in that 2020 season kind of slowed down a little bit, but just to be able to bring that back up and get on base a lot, hit the ball a lot, I could possibly, hopefully not, but possibly see him leading Houston into another deep run into the postseason, which is probably going to happen, but we'll see what that has to show us.
So just a fun little note on Altuve too, he's at 1935 for career hits. He's going into age 33 season this year. He'll obviously eclipse that 2,000 mark pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Just looking forward, do you think he gets that 3,000 mark? Does he have another 1,000 hits in him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he gets it.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Honestly, as much as I don't like the guy, I'd like to see it.
Fair enough. No, who got third base?
I mean, me and Aden had the same one, Nolan Arenado. Just even when like I played third base growing up, like watching Nolan Arenado and Adrian Beltre were my two guys. Watching like highlights on the way to games and just kind of what they did and kind of like doing what they did in the game. And so my man's a 10-time Gold Glove winner. He's great at the hot corner, and I just think like. They came up a little bit short in the playoffs last year. I think if he can continue to play it the way he's playing, I can see them, going deep into the NL, maybe, and see. I'm excited to see what Nolan Arenado does this year. So,
yeah, for sure. I've got Arenado too. His first year in St. Louis, there were a lot of question marks on whether or not he's going to be able to hit in St. Louis because going from Colorado over. But there's one thing that's not ever going to change. That's the fact that he can pick it. Right, like he's probably gonna win another 4 or 5 Gold Gloves. Like he's just that guy at the hot corner. Last year he was worth like 13.5 defensive runs or something like that, according to Fangraphs. Stupid numbers, and he still was able to hit 30 bombs. And so, yeah, I mean he slashed 293, 358 average OBP. I don't know if he gets back to a 7 WAR season. I mean 7 WAR is crazy. But 5, 6, maybe that's 7 again. Like he's gonna be that guy for I think a couple more years. He's going into age 32 season, so he's on the later half of 30, the wrong side of it, but he's still got production years in him.
For sure.
So of course I had Nolan Arenado too. Possibly, actually, he is the best defender of my time since I've been watching baseball. He's probably gonna go down as one of the best, if not the best defenders ever. Like you said, there was the problem. Everyone was worried about if he was going to be able to hit. And that first year, he kind of struggled a little bit, I guess, in terms of what he put up this year. This year, his numbers were insane. It was possibly the best season of his career, batting-wise. And the defense was consistent as always. I know he's on the wrong side of 30. I think he's got plenty of years in him. He hasn't looked to slow down, and he would have won MVP this year if it wasn't for his teammate over on the opposite side of the corner.
Yeah, the 2 corner positions in St. Louis it's ridiculous. I mean, that little club they got going on right now is crazy.
It's like me and Aiden on the diamond back in the day.
No doubt. So moving into shortstop, I've already said it a couple times. I'm a big glove guy, and the premier glove for the last 7 years, 8 years, my dog Francisco Lindor. I've got him going into this year. The popular pick is the guy that you guys have, obviously. and I don't think that's a wrong pick by any stretch of the imagination. For me, the value that we get with his leather, I think, goes underappreciated. And to be able to get back over 25 home runs, get those stolen bases numbers back up, his strikeout rate still under 20%, switch hitting, crazy defense with another 6.8 WAR season. I went with my boy Francisco. He's going into his age 29 season, but he's not even 30 yet. And so after a big bounce back year with the Mets, I think he's just going to keep that train going. So I've got Lindor, but with this shortstop class, man, I don't think there's a wrong answer really to go here either. But I'll let you guys hit the floor with the next guy.
So of course I got Trey Turner, but I will say this: I'd like to have another guy here. He'll come up later on my list because he no longer plays short, apparently. But with Trey, always got to get bat with him. This year, it was a little bit down. I don't think it's going to stay like that. I think he's going to get to Philly. He's going to have those bats around him. He's going to pick it back up. Ready for them to get Bryce Harper back. His defense is a little on the lower side. He's starting to get up there in age.
Yeah, he's 31 this year, right?
He's going to be 30 this year.
30 this year? Okay.
He's going to be 30 this year. I will say this. The way that he approaches at the plate, if he wants to continue to have success, it's going to have to change. He swings a lot. He's going to need to start drawing those walks if he wants to kind of stay on that consistent pace. But I don't think there's a shortstop as good as him. And I'll let you take it, Noah.
So, obviously I wanted to be really biased with this one because I'm a huge Corey Seager fan, but I think I just had to not be biased with this one. But yeah, just like y'all said, he was a great fit in the LA deal for them, and especially when Seager left for Texas. Man's wicked on the bases, seeing all those memes of him sliding and the highlights. I'd love to watch those. And I think he really does fit in well with this Philly squad. Like Aden said, with all these big bats, I think he kind of adopts that too. And I'm excited to see him be the guy in Philly until Harper comes back. So
yeah, it's cool too because Francisco's contract kicks in this year officially, and Turner's new contract obviously kicks in now, and so for the next decade you're going to be seeing these two guys battle it out in the NL East, and I think that's a cool matchup for the next decade.
West at the shortstop spot. I'll take it away at left field to start off.
Go for it.
So I'm going to go with the guy who's he's been a little disappointing recently from what we've expected. I'm going to go with Juan Soto. I don't think he's going to disappoint this year. Ever since 2020, we've kind of looked for him to get back on that same path. He's been hyped up as the guy, all kind of thinking, and he's always in those predictions for MVP. Always think he's going to have one of those years, and it just hasn't happened yet. But I think a big reason with that is he was stuck in Washington. Who did they have around him in Washington?
Josh Bell for that 1 year.
Josh Bell didn't play that good that year.
And I'm just trying to answer your question.
I know. My bad. They had Josh Bell. They also had Nelson Cruz, but that wasn't Nelson Cruz.
The GOAT.
Yeah, sure.
Talk about glove work.
Yeah. But I really think this is the year Juan Soto turns it back around, and we're gonna understand why the hype has been there. And I could see him winning MVP this year, especially because he's not in the same place as Ohtani.
So yeah, I'll take it. So just like Aden said, when he first got dealt to San Diego, he did struggle, but I can see that not happening this year. I see him making big strides and just becoming MVP. I'm looking here. He has a plus 550 odds to win MVP in the NL, and I'm excited to see him just swing the bat, hit the ball over the fence, and he's my pick too. If I didn't say that, but yeah, I think I was on the fence. I saw your Jordan pick, and I'm despite being an Astros player, I'm a big Jordan guy. But I think Juan Soto picks it up this year and returns back to that World Series winning team that he was on. So.
Yeah, the thing about Soto is like at any given moment he can get like a 400 on base percentage and a 500 slugging. Right, like he can just pop off. I don't think he's got a 300 average in him necessarily, but a 250, 270 average. But that he's easily a 350 guy at OBP and probably could get up to the fours. He just has that kind of eye discipline, so there's definitely not a bad pick there. And I think him going from right field back to left will probably actually help him more than the right field thought was. But yeah, you alluded to my guy. I've got Jordan over in left. I was debating between him at left or him at DH. But I think there's a clear-cut kind of DH guy that we all kind of think is that dude. And Jordan played in 60-ish games in left field for the Houston after Brantley went out, and then all through the playoffs in left field. So I thought it was fitting that he could make that spot for me. I don't know how many times I've seen the 3-run home run just on like my social media feeds, or my buddies will just send me like the video randomly or whatnot. I've probably seen the home run 150 times. It just lives in my head written free. Probably in some Philadelphia fans too, unfortunately for them. But 6'5" behemoth, I think he'll go up another 35, 40 home runs, and I'd like to see him take that next step. And he finished third in MVP voting this past year. I think another top 5 finish is very likely for him. I think he's just going to keep getting a little bit better and better. He's only 25, so see what he's got for the next couple years.
He has the 5th best odds to win MVP in the AL right now in the preseason, so we'll see what happens.
The Soto-Alvarez matchup, I think, is a cool left field debate for the next decade because they're both going to be really good for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
This next one, it's kind of hard for us not all to be on the same page. This is probably the best player of me and your generation, Noah. I don't know about you, Coach Ramey, but I think this is the best player that I've ever been able to consistently watch. He's not my GOAT, of course. I've got someone else there. He's a little controversial, but from what I've been able to see, Mike Trout is the best player of my generation. I mean, he missed almost 60 games last year, put up 40 home runs, 80 RBIs to go to that, and a 176 WRC plus. Who does that?
Mike Trout. That's who.
Like, those stats are just crazy to me. And he had a month of a down stretch. I mean,
yeah.
I heard people blaming him for the coach being fired because of how bad he was playing during that stretch, and he still put those numbers up. Of course, being healthy is always going to be a thing with him. Can he stay out there? Haven't really seen it much in the past couple of years, and we need to see him in the playoffs. We need him to be on a team that can get to the playoffs. I don't think the Angels are ever going to be that team for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because like the last time he played more than 130 games was 2018, and he only played 140 that year. And not all of it's been like his fault. Like the broken hand off the fastball that he got hit up and in on. Like there's freaky stuff that happens sometimes that's out of players' controls. It's really unfortunate that we haven't had a full season of Mike Trout in this prime years of 26 to 32 or whatever. He's going into his age 31 season. I think if Mike Trout plays 145 games, he's gonna probably be the AL MVP. Like, if he plays less than 145 games, then someone else can be the AL MVP. I think that's kind of how it plays out. Because another 40 home run season is probably a thing. Another 350 on base, another 550 slugging. The dude just is the best baseball player of this generation. Ever since he came up in 2011, he's always there were the flashes of his rookie year, and then 2012 he put up a 10 WAR season in his sophomore season, basically. So yeah, Mike Trout, another 6 WAR season coming in. Let's see what he's got.
For sure. Yeah, I was making notes last night, like I told y'all, and I literally have all under Mike Trout. It's Mike Trout. Like, there's nothing else to say. I love going to Globe Life Field, and when the Angels come to town, just to get to watch him and Shohei play, It's really fun to watch, and I think if everything goes the way the Angels need it to go, I see Texas and LA like fighting for that third spot in the AL West. Hopefully it's not that. I don't think it will be, but I think if Mike Trout stays healthy, if Shohei stays healthy, and everything falls into place like it needs to, I think they can battle with Texas for third place. But yeah, I picked Mike Trout at center field too. Just a generational talent, probably the best player of me and Aiden's generation for sure. And so I really hope here in the near future he either gets dealt or the Angels become somewhat good so he can, actually play in the playoffs and have a chance at going to the World Series and getting him a ring. So, yeah, Mike Trout's my pick for center field.
Not a miss on that board. All right, right field. We'll let Aiden go last on this one because he's got some explaining to do. AL reigning MVP, Aaron Judge. Do I think Judge is going to hit another 62 home runs and be that guy? No, there's going to be regression. He's not going to post an 11 WAR season again this year. But if Aaron Judge is 80% as good as he was this year, then he's still looking at 45 home runs, 278, 375, 550, triple slash. Probably still good for a 7 WAR season. The right field position is just so deep, man. Like between Judge, Aiden's pick, my boy Kyle Tucker, Mookie Betts, there's probably 7 or 8 right fielders that you can make an argument for this year. But yeah, Judge coming in I think is still good for 45 bombs, and he's still going to be the heart of the Yankees lineup, and they're still going to win a lot of games because of it.
Yeah. Same here, like the captain for the Yankees, if you will. Like you said, he's not going to match 62 home runs again. It's just not going to happen. And I really hate myself, and I kick myself every day because I was going to go to that game and where he hit it, the 62 home run in Texas. I was going to buy tickets to sit there, and I didn't. And I regret it every day because I could have, been a millionaire probably right now.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, best right fielder. My man has the courthouse out in right field in the Bronx.
Yeah.
He's a freak, man. Freak of nature. What is he? 6'7", 6'8"? What is it?
6'7", 280.
Yeah, just what? Absolutely, just a freaking monster, man. And I have right here, he's projected, I saw on Fangraphs, 48 in the first little projected thing. But I believe he's going to hit anywhere from 35 to 45-ish. I don't think he's going to get over 50 again, but there definitely will be 450-foot home runs hit, I believe, from him this year. So, Aiden, you can round this off.
Before Aiden goes, I just want to make one quick note because, I don't like saying this as an Astros guy, but the knock early on in Judge's career was always the strikeout rate and swinging at things that he probably shouldn't be swinging at. And he's had some of the low strike zone issues because he's so freaking tall. Umpires forget where his knees are. But he went from having a 44% K rate his rookie year, got it down to the 30s, and the last 2 years he's been at 25%. So he's almost cut his initial strikeout rate in half. Which is impressive to see, and his walk rate has gone up. I think he was getting walked a little bit to avoid being the guy who gave up the record, honestly.
Yeah.
But to still have a walk rate over 15% over the course of a full season is pretty impressive. And so just wanted to give props to Aaron Judge from all the way to here in Houston.
Yeah, and just a fun fact before Aiden gets started, I'm going to interrupt you. Yeah, my man hit the last home run in my favorite ballpark ever, Globe Life Park, and then matches his 60 AL record-breaking home run in Globe Life Field. So my man hits the ball in Texas, and I mean, anytime the Yankees come to Arlington, I almost can never afford to go because it's the Yankees and it's going to bring in tickets. But yeah, Aaron Judge is the dude. Okay, I'll let you talk now.
So this one's gonna be a bit controversial, but I'm really thinking that people are forgetting who this guy is. So Tatis, of course, injuries. He's
ringworm.
Got suspended for a bit. People are confusing this for kind of Acuna, I'm starting to believe. Acuna dropped off because he had a career-altering injury.
Yeah, the
Tatis
ACL
didn't have a career-altering injury. Last time Tatis played was his age 22 year, 157 WRC plus. And this is like the first year we've seen him really play. Had a 7.3 WAR and 42 bombs in only 130 games. I not only think he plays more games, I think he has a better season than he had that year. Him and Soto are my two guys that I think are going to be fighting for MVP in the NL. And like I said, it's going to be controversial. People are, of course, upset with Tatis. I don't think that his production was because of what he got caught taking, and I don't think his production gets slowed down a lot by those small little injuries he's had. I think he gets it back on track, and he's gonna surprise a lot of people out in right field. And like I said, him and Soto, in my opinion, going to be fighting all year for that NL MVP.
And I like Tatis in right field because I didn't like him at shortstop very much.
I get that. Yeah, his defense was kind of
defensively
shoddy there.
You know, it's well documented again. I'm a glove guy at short, and he was very questionable there. But his bat and his athleticism in right field, I really like. So I think it's a strong pick. Like he could go out there and battle with Soto for an MVP. There's no doubt he could.
For sure.
Do you think the Padres win the West, Aiden?
We get up there. It's going to be between them and the Dodgers, of course. I don't think it's going to be as far off as it usually is. It will be really close this year. I don't think the Giants are in it at all. It's definitely going to be between the Dodgers and the Padres. And honestly, I think the Padres are looking more like the Dodgers than the Dodgers are looking like the Dodgers. Like, I think with the star power the Padres just acquired this offseason, and getting Tatis back is like getting another player.
Yeah, I really think they're going to short and Tatis and right. You're basically getting two all-stars added to that. I really
think they're going to get that. They're going to get that mantle. The only thing that I think the Dodgers probably have over them, of course, is the pitching and the prospects that they're going to keep bringing up whenever they need them. But I really think that this is the year the Padres can take that mantle from them.
It'll be fun to watch for sure. Going all the way back to behind the dish now, catchers.
So let me start this one off. Let the solo guy start it off this time.
Do it.
This is probably my second favorite player in the league right now. Adley Rutschman, man, he was everything that we were promised and more that first season. If you look at the pitchers for the Orioles, as soon as Adley came in, it was like they were just new guys. I mean, the pitching staff got an upgrade. They ended up winning. They were, 16? And I don't even remember what their losses were, but it was pretty bad when he came in. They end up having a winning record from the moment he steps behind the plate. And this kid's going to be special, man. I think he's going to take the mantle from JT this year. And I think he's going to be one of, if not the best catcher in the league for 10, 12 years before he slows down. And I can't wait to watch this kid's career.
Cool. No,
I'll let y'all go ahead and.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not really big on catchers. I don't know why. It's just like, I don't know. But I picked JT Realmuto, however you say it. He's a big help in bringing Philly to the World Series on a crazy postseason. And I was reading on him. He was the second catcher in MLB history to have a 2020 season. And did it with the 276 batting average, which is awesome. Great framer, get pitches called strikes all the time. And so I like Adley too, but I just think like Realmuto's a dude. So I think he's going to be like the guy, the catcher in 2023.
Yeah, I think JT's got one more year on top. And then next year I'm probably going to be leaning on that Adley train a little bit. I think Adley has there's always that sophomore slump possibility. A pitcher start to adapt to you, and how well are you going to adapt to your sophomore season versus your rookie year. But all the tools are there for Adley. There's no doubt. I think he's the guy of the future for sure. I'm giving JT the benefit of the doubt with this one for one more year, and then depending on how he does, it's going to be really close. I think for the next two years from now, how that looks. But yeah, coming off a 2020 year, Philadelphia going to the World Series, his glove work behind the dish is impeccable. I mean, back-to-back years of having over 15 defensive run value. Coming off a 6.5 WAR season, it's hard to go against JT right now. So, JT, you've got one more year to keep that mantle before Adley comes and takes it from you. So let's see what the kid's got, and let's see what the vet has. Let's talk about our magical baseball unicorn in the AL West for a second.
Future Ranger.
Future Ranger.
I mean, they're paying everybody. Might as well pay him.
Might as well bring him into it. I like it.
Yeah. I'll start it off. It's Shohei Ohtani. Just like Mike Trout, how I had my notes, it's Shohei Ohtani. I don't think, especially for me, I've never seen anything like it. I don't think anybody else has either. Arguably the best hitter in the league, arguably the best pitcher in the league, and just how he's able to just play both at a consistent rate is ridiculous. I remember, I don't know if it was that week y'all came down to watch. I don't remember. I think I met up with some other friends in Arlington, and
we watched the Mariners whenever I came.
Yeah, we watched the Mariners and the Rays. I think that's what it was.
It was the Rays. It wasn't the Mariners.
Yeah. I remember Shohei was pitching, and the Rangers just stacked batting lineup last year. I got to watch him just get killed, and it brought a lot of joy to me. But I don't think that happens a lot this year. Just like Mike Trout, I'm very excited to get to see them play in Arlington a lot this year. And honestly, for me, I don't see him in an Angels uniform next year, possibly by the trade deadline, maybe. I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens. And he's always in MVP contention, just like Mike Trout is.
So Shohei actually is my AL MVP, and I think it's going to be like that until voter fatigue sets in. He didn't have as good of a hitting season last season. He was a far better pitcher last season than he was in 2021, which it took a 62 home run season from Judge to take the crown from Ohtani, and people were still saying Ohtani deserved it over Judge. You've got to break records to even come close to being in contention for the MVP when Shohei's in play, and it's going to be like that for a while. He's my MVP pick next year. We'll probably see the pitching be just as good, if not better. The bat should still be there. Only thing that he has to worry about is injury and, of course, being on the Angels.
Yeah, luckily for Shohei, though, he played in 158 in 2021 and 157 in 2022. So, the whole two-way thing has worked pretty well for him so far. I think them limiting his time in the field and just keeping him as a pitcher DH is really what's kept that going. Another 35 to 45 home run season is definitely in the books. If that lineup around him helps him out, another 100 RBI season is probably in the books. Think about Shohei, he could pop off for a 5 WAR batting season very easily and then go pitch a 5 WAR on the mound season very easily, and he's a 10 WAR player. I'll be curious to see how hungry some teams are to throw prospects and MLB ready talent. Are the Angels going to be looking for MLB ready guys to just replace the production, or are they going to be looking for prospects? Because the thing with them is they've got Trout till 2030. He's locked up. And so do they go full rebuild while keeping Trout on the books for that long and just say, give me all the young guys you can? It'll be interesting to see, but I think it's very possible he's the MVP. He's another 8 WAR season, I think, minimum, accounting for both sides. And I don't think there's been those rumors where he's going to be like the first $500 million player, right? I don't know that he gets to that level, but I could definitely see him eclipsing that $400 million mark pretty easily. I think he's just going to bring that kind of value on both sides of the ball. So clean sweep for Shohei from us as the designated hitter coming into this year. And you alluded to it. He's your MVP vote. I guess next time we do this, we got to talk about pitchers, right? And we got to figure out who your Cy Young vote is.
Got some good ones there.
There are some good ones. Real quick, Noah, who's your MVP for AL?
It's a hard one. Just that Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, just like Aden said, Judge had to have a 62 home run season just to win MVP. I'm going to take a long shot here, and I'm going to pick my boy Vladdy. He's going to have a breakout season, and he's going to be AL MVP.
50 bombs? They're moving those walls a little bit in on the Rogers Center. Like, he might find a few more fly balls go over the field.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking Ohtani. I think he's a safe pick. I know it's not the sexy pick because it's the safe pick, but I think he's got it. NL-wise, I do think Soto wins the NL MVP. So there's you some fun stuff for that. Noah, who you got?
Soto for MVP in NL too.
Aden?
Soto and Ohtani.
Okay.
Tatis is going to be there, though.
Tatis going to be there.
Know that. It's going to be Soto or Tatis.
Is he top 3?
Tatis?
Yeah.
Tatis is top 2.
Oh, so you're going like one's.
I'm going Soto, Tatis. I think the 2 MVP candidates are going to be in the same lineup.
Okay, have you put in the bet?
I have not put in a bet. I'm not going to put in a bet.
I can't wait to look back at this thing in November and be like, wow, we totally nailed it, or B, man, we totally forgot about this guy.
So much fun when Freddie Freeman hits 350 and 30 bombs, and he's the MVP.
Listen, I love Freddie Freeman. I hate that he's a Dodger.
Or Machado. There's 3 MVP candidates in the Padres system.
True. I think if you plug Freddie Freeman on the Boston Red Sox and he's got the green monster out there and he's just like plopping doubles off the monster and then just pulling them around pesky pole, like he could hit 350 and have like 65 extra base hits and just
put him on the
Yankees. No, because then he's gonna start trying to pull power, all that. He's gonna lose some of that contact numbers.
He's gonna be smoking them.
Give me those doubles off the wall and then the pesky pole pulls. That's what I want to see. All right, well, let's end this thing right where we're at. We got a good time here. Next week we'll come back with some pitcher projections. We'll bring in a whole new list for that. Be ready to see how Homer, Noah, and Aden are on their boy DeGoat. And Corbin Burns. I'm sure that'll be Aiden's 1 and 2 in some shape, form, or fashion. Can't wait to discuss that. And so from now we will go ahead and close this thing off. Noah, any last words?
Go Rangers, and yeah, Astros suck.
Cool. Aden?
I'm good.
You're good.
Noah summed it up.
He's good.
Noah summed it up.
All right, roll the outro. See you boys next week.